We all have that little voice in our heads, the rational decision maker, urging us to get things done, but he's not alone. In the same mental space, there's another character. Sharing space is the instant gratification monkey, who lives for the moment, avoiding work. This monkey is all about fun and games. And then there's the panic monster, who only appears when deadlines loom. He wakes up when things get serious. Imagine this: you have a deadline. It's approaching fast. The rational decision maker knows you should start, but the instant gratification monkey has other plans. He distracts you with trivial activities. He'd rather check social media or watch cat videos. Anything but work. The panic monster sleeps until the deadline is near, then transforms you into a productivity machine. Suddenly you can focus like never before. You finish the task but feel drained and question your life choices. Was it worth the stress? This is the daily struggle of a procrastinator, a battle between immediate gratification and reason. It's a constant tug of war in the mind. The instant gratification monkey is a master of distraction. He lurks in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. He convinces you that checking your email is more important than your task. Every notification becomes a siren call, pulling you away from what truly matters. 1 minute you're working, the next you're lost in YouTube. Hours can pass in the blink of an eye, and your to-do list remains untouched. He thrives on instant dopamine rushes, ignoring long-term goals. The monkey loves the thrill of the moment, leaving future you to deal with the consequences. Remember that time you had to study? The rational decision maker urged you to hit the books, but the monkey had other ideas. The rational decision maker urged you to hit the books, but the monkey had other ideas. He whispered that there were more fun things to do. Suddenly, reorganizing your sock drawer seemed crucial. Anything to avoid the task at hand. He's the reason we check our phones instead of finishing reports, and why we get sidetracked by endless scrolling. We start new Netflix series instead of going to the gym. The monkey loves to keep us entertained, but at what cost? He's the embodiment of procrastination, whispering just one more episode, and before you know it, the day is gone. The panic monster, despite his terrifying demeanor, forces us to get things done. He emerges when deadlines loom, and procrastination has left us with no other choice. His presence is both a curse and a strange blessing, but he operates on fear and anxiety, not a desire to excel. The pressure he creates is immense, pushing us to our limits. The work produced under his reign is often rushed and subpar. Mistakes are common, and the quality of our output suffers significantly. We sacrifice quality for speed, making compromises we wouldn't normally make. The stress takes a toll on our mental and physical health. The relief after a deadline passes is overshadowed by the realization we could have done better. We reflect on what could have been if we had managed our time more effectively. The panic monster feeds the cycle of procrastination, reinforcing the belief we only work well under pressure. This cycle becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. We become dependent on his last-minute interventions. The constant stress becomes a part of our routine. We never experience the satisfaction of completing a task on our own terms. True fulfillment comes from working steadily and mindfully, not from the frantic rush induced by the panic monster. Procrastination isn't just about missed deadlines. It's about the dreams we put on hold, the goals we never pursue. We tell ourselves we'll get around to it someday, but someday never arrives. Years later, we look back with regret, wondering what we might have achieved. Recognizing this struggle is the first step towards overcoming it. By understanding our minds, we can start to regain control and let the rational decision-maker take the wheel. Each step towards conquering procrastination brings us closer to a life filled with purpose and satisfaction.